Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere, Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin, and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them, and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below. Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere.
folks.
Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close.
Alright, folks, let's begin. I'm gonna interrupt the second. Alright. So, tonight I'm trying something a little different. Instead of dedicating the stream entirely to one thing or the other, I was thinking maybe would be fun to just do a little bit of a combination stream. So the first part of the stream, I'll be fixing some more Look Outside issues. And then the second half of the stream, I'll be working on something in Malison. And I'll be working on... I'll be specifically working on an encounter, actually. I'll be polishing up an encounter. I think that should be fun. That does mean that latter half of the stream is going to be showing a little bit of Malison gameplay, so there's going to be a little bit of spoilers. But it's going to be, it's an early game thing. So it's up to you if that bothers you to see that in advance or not. But let's start with some bug fixing. Okay, reloading the Magnum twice in one turn caused it to have 7 bullets. Huh. That one's very odd. Reloading the Magnum twice. Well, okay, let's just try reloading it twice to start with here. So let's go into this battle. Let's give Sam the Magnum. Let's say the Magnum with not all bullets. And then let's also give Sam the coat of arms. There we go. And let's see if we can get this to trigger. So right now, the Magnum has 6 bullets. Let's reload twice. And let's see what's happening with these bullets here. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will revise some of the. I mean, I kind of want to rebalance a lot of the gauntlet stuff. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint in the reload code here. Actually, no, let's not. Let's just verify that it is happening first. So actually, yeah, reloading when the... Okay, so it is really just reloading while the ammo's full. That causes that. So let's shoot one Magnum shot here. And then let's reload twice. Okay, let's reload twice. That's the first one, so the first one should be normal. Now the second one. Let's see what's happening here. So ammo max is 6. Ammo max is bigger than, yeah. So we have this, we have that. Current ammo is 6. Ammo regain is ammo max minus current ammo. Oh, if ammo regain is 0, ammo regain equals 1. There's the problem. Okay. Okay, I see. So let's fix that then. Yeah, that's just a pretty straightforward bug. A pretty straightforward logic mistake. Eh. Mm-hmm. I think this should work. Let's try that. It should also not take away the bullets. It should just basically cancel the reload. So, let's reload Magnum. No, it, that didn't work. Oh. This should be like this. Okay, there you go. Now that fixed it. Now let's make sure that it doesn't break like normal reloading. Okay, good. There we go. So yeah, now, that extra reloading doesn't work. Okay, good. Okay. Fixed reloading a weapon twice in one turn, adding one extra bullet above max. I don't know, but there's not going to be as many now. Yeah, I'm. We're kind of moving on from Look Outside. There's going to be some stuff. You know, like we're working on localization stuff and all that, but yeah, at this point, don't expect a lot of additions from this point on. Yep. Just fixing bugs now and making balance tweaks. There is going to be some new stuff in the next update. But it's mostly just going to be like gauntlet stuff. Just some gauntlet balancing. And maybe some other like special challenges for people who beat the gauntlet. Like this kind of thing. But nothing for like normal players, basically. Nothing for normal players. Yeah. Yeah, there's also like a thing with Pepino too, yeah. That's already mostly done. Okay, next. The patch notes say that the Chaos Court, Exalted Force, Shadow have been made to count towards the boss counter, but they don't. Oh. Turn on the subtitles for the YouTube live stream. The subtitles? Is that something I do? Oh. Huh. Well, there's a closed captions thing, but I can't actually click it. It doesn't actually let me. It's like grayed out, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. It's not actually letting me turn it on. I don't know. He's a big boy. He is a big boy. Boss is skilled. Dan's mom. I don't know about adding Chaos Quartet, Exalted 4, The Shadow, The Visitor, and Xenomon. I feel like adding individual bosses when they're tied to an ending isn't really as important as the optional stuff, because that's where those extra points, because like those bosses, like, you know, the score you get from them is kind of tied to the it's kind of tied to like the ending itself, right? Yeah, it kind of complicates the calculation for how much score you get for the endings. Kind of simplifies all of this if the ending bosses themselves don't give you any of that. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, is it loud? All right, I'll tone it down a bit. Yeah, this album is kind of loud. This album is mixed very loud. I always forget. The mask ending super bosses count? Maybe they shouldn't. Yeah, there's not going to be a way. I mean, other than the gauntlet. Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you get, yeah, you can actually get just a partial number of cursed offerings, and then go to the, yeah, you can get the flawed. It's true. That is one way to give yourself extra bosses. Yeah, that is true. So there is a way for them to become optional bosses. Yeah, no, so that kind of makes sense then. Yeah. You know what? That's good enough reason, I think. It's a little stupid. It's a little stupid. Oh, no, bosses. Hang on. Caterpillar does actually count. Caterpillar does actually count here. They done goofed. Caterpillar actually counts as a boss's guild. But yeah, the others I won't add it though. I mean, no. There is some stuff sometimes that cannot trigger, but not with a regular event touch trigger. That would be if it was a parallel process, then sometimes stuff can be sort of interrupted, but this wouldn't happen here. So yeah, no. This, unless they mean another caterpillar that I. Unless they mean another caterpillar. Maybe they mean Centifingers, yeah. Let's see if Centifingers count. I feel like Centifingers should. Centifingers also counts. Bossa scale +1. So nope, that's not it. Yeah, I don't know why they. This one should definitely be counting. Exiting the pit can sometimes not remove the darkness filter. Oh. Not really, no. A lot of layering stuff in RPG Maker is very janky. So I imagine that's when you're escaping the pit from the actual encounter with Charon, is what they mean in that bug there, with about the pit cave. Exiting the pit as in like when Charon helps you out, or do they mean when you leave normally? I mean, one way would be to actually just make unique doors with the number on them. But the numbers are a separate thing just because I didn't want to have a bunch of extra doors for each of the numbers. Yeah, but I just don't feel like it, so. But yeah, that'd be one way to fix it. Just add a bunch of unique doors. But I don't want to. Yeah, I just overlapped. I do a lot of that. Like the clock in your house is a bunch of overlaid objects. The clock in the house is like one of the jankiest things. That clock here, like, there's this, but that's only one of the arms of the clock is that. And the other arm is this. It's like an object like this that's like the hour end like to the side like that. That's just meant to overlay on top. Just the jankiest shit. Just so that there can be two independently animated things overlapping like that. And then there's the pendulum as a separate object, of course. Yep. I mean, that's part of the fun a little bit. I kind of think it's part of the fun to have to like figure out how to do stuff using the weird, you know, the weirdly contrived tools is kind of part of the fun, I think. It's like a weird little puzzle. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go back to the pit. Maybe some of the events where Charon takes you out. Um, yeah, maybe some of the events where Charon helps you back up doesn't actually remove the darkness filter. So let's make sure I return the darkness. Yeah, let's make sure I fix the darkness in the event itself instead of in the battle. That should fix that. All right, the basement pit common event. Yeah, I fixed Dan's mom. Dan's mom was missing. Okay, see Charon. There's the encounter. There's tin screen here. Okay. And this one, go cave, and that puts you down. So this one, the tin screen is after all this. Huh. I can't really tell which circumstance. I can't really tell which circumstance here the tint would stay. Oh, here maybe. Exit event processing here. No, that's when you refuse to jump down. Oh, after fighting the shadow, you still had darkness? Okay, maybe that's the problem then. Maybe it's not with, yeah, maybe it's nothing to do with Charon then. Maybe it's just when you enter here. Okay, I can just do that. I can just set tint screen right here. Normal, 60 frame, don't wait for completion. The same thing that fades out the BGM. Wait, actually, when you have power, and that's gonna be erase event too. Yeah, that must be it. That must be it. All right. That ought to fix that. Fixed the darkness filter remaining after you leave the pit. If you fought the shadow there. Also, I guess the shadow itself darkens your screen and then doesn't remove the darkness from it if you kill it. That's the real problem, I guess. Yeah, that's the problem here. Yeah, it looks like this shadow here, I made it set the darkness. Instead of setting it to normal, I set it to like -14 at the end. That's the problem. That's the problem. So I must have copy pasted this guy from the under the stairs area. That always remains kind of dark. That must be why. I think. Okay, that should fix that. Moving on. If the player kills the writhing shade or the moaning shade and leaves and re-enters the room, it reappears. Yeah, I noticed. I remember seeing that in a stream. Yeah, those two shades respawn for some reason. I guess I must have just been using the wrong variable on them when you kill them. I must be using the wrong variable on them. I see. I kind of feel like I should shorten the timer for the subway. You know? I kind of feel like I almost never see the subway pass by when I watch someone play through this area. I don't know. Anyone noticed that? Anyone saw like a bunch of streams of people going through the subway? I feel like they never encounter the actual subway train. I think it passes every 5 minutes, but I guess it tends to pass just before they actually approach it, and then like the time span that they take to explore just completely avoids it. So I feel like I should speed this up. I should make that it passes every 3 minutes instead or something. And yeah, the train is unfinished too, yeah. But I think tweaking this is going to take a little bit of work. Yeah. Yeah, it's a 600-second schedule, the subway. A 600-second schedule, which is more than, let's see, how... It's a 600-second schedule, but it also passes twice because there's two trains. So it is 5 minutes or so. But yeah, I feel like people almost always just completely avoid them, even if they explore the whole thing. Like, it just doesn't take them 5 minutes. You know? So yeah, I feel like I should maybe shorten all of this to like 7 minutes or something, or even 6 minutes for the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would make sense. But I'll need to like change it everywhere properly. Oh yeah, I do need to tweak that. But yeah, so this one, the stumbling shade. No, it's the writhing shade or the moaning shade. Writhing shade is in the landlord's apartment. And this one is in the pit. Oh, wait, don't these one also respawn? I feel like I remember seeing these ones respawn too. I feel like the one I saw respawning was here. So I think maybe all of the mask ending related shades might be respawning. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're not supposed to. Yeah, that should be marked as D here. That's when they're dead. Yeah, wait. Switch D is on here. What? Switch D is on. So why aren't they being what? These should not be resetting. The small shades do. That's weird. What about the large shadow here? Yeah, this one also gets... Yeah, both of these. Okay, let me check the others. Wait, that's weird. I did actually set them to disappear. Maybe I did and I just forgot. That's possible. That's possible. I am getting old. I'm starting to forget things. I am becoming an old man. This one uses... Oh, this one doesn't. Okay, this one doesn't reset. And actually it accumulates a boss's killed every time. So you can just use this one to grind bosses killed. Yeah, this one just is missing the self switch here, the state, and the trigger here. So yeah, this one was just missing the code to make it remain gone. Okay, so that's one fixed, and then let's do the landlord's one. I wonder if anyone I wonder if that's something people notice. How there's two corridors that are exactly the same, but they actually lead somewhere else, like somewhere different. Like I've never noticed people noting that when it happens, because I guess this whole place is such a maze that maybe that just doesn't really strike. That one of those two corridors is fake, and that's what leads to the fake. I feel that maybe it's something I needed to It's something I needed to add something to there needed to be something striking between the two to make it obvious. It's one of those things that if it's a little too subtle, people just don't notice anything special happened at all, you know? That's one of those things. You kind of have to use something to mark it, so people notice that there's something weird that just happened. Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping that would throw people off at least a little bit. There should be something a bit more threatening in the cursed floor 1 extra maze. It's not really scary enough in there for being a cursed mode thing. But at one point I was planning something more in there, but not another maze. Because there's already an extra maze there. There's already that whole extra saw. No, it's just something scarier in that place. So if you end up in that cursed segment, something really spooky should start chasing you, you know? Maybe a really fucked up version of the Rat King. The Rat King, but fucked up. The Rat King, but upside down. Mazes are the lifeblood of gaming. Yeah, it's just the blue. Yeah, exactly. It's the Dark Souls 2 approach. Remember this guy? He's blue now. Get him. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Listen, Dark Souls 2 gets a bad rap, but it's got a couple very questionable decisions in there. Yeah, just pursue her in there with the teleport stab. Yeah, I heard. So I've never really played PvP that much in the Souls games. I just occasionally dip into it. But I have heard a lot of people say that they liked DS2 PvP. I think something. I think it's something like the like there's a bit there was like a nice amount of build variety of like ways to make like weird builds that worked well. Like it was easier to make all sorts of weird gimmicks actually work out, you know? I mean, there were still a few things that were obviously, um, you know, there were obviously dominating strategies, but, you know, you could get just a bunch of weird shit going, and you could essentially make it work. Okay, so. Hmm. Yeah, the way you could just mix any weapons together instead of only specific weapons, and they actually went back from that on in Dark Souls 3, and instead just made it that there were a few specific weapons that were like dual weapons. Yeah, I like the weird weapon combinations you could do. The power stances, yeah. Yeah, DS3 is just so much more polished than all the others. But DS1 especially just offers something the others don't. But still, it's way less polished. It's way more janky than the S3. Well, Elden Ring is such a Elden Ring is like very polished, but it's also like such a different kind of game that like I feel if you go from Elden Ring then play the earlier games, it's gonna feel just so much more focused compared to them, but also way more difficult. I feel like the difficulty is gonna feel brutal if you go from Elden Ring and then go to like Dark Souls 3. The difficulty is gonna feel brutal. Hmm. Like the way that the Souls games just force you to get through a really tough part in a way that Elden Ring never does. You can always just do something else. You're never stuck in a situation where you have to get through this now. There's nothing else you can do. You just have to do this, right? Like that's a situation you're never in Elden Ring, right? They like were careful to make sure this never happens in Elden Ring. Well, it's like a common situation in the Souls games overall, and that makes a huge difference. Like you have to actually hit your face against this wall until you make it through, you know? No, I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm saying that as just a difference. Like, but that definitely makes Elden Ring way more approachable than like all the Souls games. I like Elden Ring overall. I do think that the open world just hurts the Souls formula overall. Like I do think it just kind of hurts it, but it makes it just so much more accessible that it probably just opened up the series to just a much wider audience. And I think that's inherently valuable. I think that's just inherently valuable regardless of anything else. Like that means way more people are going to be into those games, and that's great. I think the biggest problem though is that the biggest problem to me with Elden Ring is just how easy it is to accidentally end up over leveled, right? Like you don't need to actually explore that much to end up completely trouncing the next boss. Like you really need to be like to not end up over leveled. You need to like make an effort to not stray from the path to like the next dungeon essentially. And that's weird. It feels like it's way too easy to end up over leveled even if you don't even really intend to. Um that's to me that's the biggest problem of it. Like I feel like there's a bunch of bosses that I've beaten in Elden Ring that I was kind of robbed from actually fighting in a way. Um all right. Let's fix one more boss. One more boss. One more bug. Um, let's fix one more bug here, and then I'll go get me some tea or perhaps hot cocoa. A Panopticon and Cursed Harriet only have enough FSTM for one multi-kick. Oh, well, that's gonna be easy. Hello, Scarlet. Panopticon. Yeah, that is a very small amount of MP. Let's fix that. And Harry, what? Oh. Yeah, I should boost Panopticon. It's true. It's true. Damn. Wait, 8. Not 8. There you go. Panopticon getting boosted. Just a little bit. Gave him 200 more HP, slightly higher defense, and of course that's going to scale further. And also gave him more MP so you can actually use his moves. There you go. It's happened. So he should survive a little bit longer now. A little bit longer. Should his attack be higher? Does he have a problem of being a little... do his attacks feel a little underpowered? A little bit? Alright. Let's boost this a little bit then. I don't want to be too scary with the attack because it does copy your moves. And so if it copies your moves with really high stats, it might sometimes just nuke you, you know? So I'll go for like 40 attack and 30 special. That should be just a little bit more. Just a little bit more now. Well, yeah, but you know the gimmick of the boss. That's a gimmick boss. That's fine. You know, if you know the gimmick, a gimmick boss should be kind of easy. That's fine. I mean, on curse mode, it should probably be a bit more dangerous, but... Alright, but yes, now fixed the problem. Added more stamina to Panopticon and... Let's add something for balances here. Okay. Curse down doesn't have enough STM to use multi-kick. Ah. Creep. Same old Dan. Yeah, look at that. Sad amount of stamina. Little boost. Little boost. Little boost. Little boost. Little boost. There you go. Just a little. A little boost for same old Dan. Just a little boost. Just a little boost. Little boost. Little boost. Little boost. There we go. Little boosts. More stamina to same old Dan. Alright, alright. I am going to go make me some hot cocoa, perhaps. Or maybe something else. Who knows? I'll be back in just a bit. Then we'll be doing a few more bugs, and then I'll be doing some Malison stuff as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think now where I combine the two a little bit on a stream. We'll see. But yes, I'll be back with a little tea. I'll be back in just a bit. It is late. It is late. But you can call her Lee too if you like. It's fine. She probably won't freak out and stab you for doing that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I got Earl Grey. I thought it was pronounced Lee. But it was not. I thought it was pronounced Lee. But I was wrong. Slay. That's right. That's how you're going to remember it. That's how you remember. You just say slay.
Malison, the Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror.
No! You don't get another trailer. No! 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 You don't. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. All right. Okay, let's say 4 more. Let's do 4 more and then let's switch to a little bit of malice and if the player kisses Honko, the game would increase his max HP, but he will not be healed afterwards. Aww. Honko needs a little pick-me-up. Honko needs a little pick-me-up. You'll know about it if you keep watching, because I'll be working on it next. I don't think so, although I would like to give her slightly, more properly designed, like moves for when she joins temporarily, Like give just a little bit more content to that. I would like to do that, but making her an actual party member means adding a lot of dialogue. It means adding a whole fucking a whole set of stuff for mazes and wizards. Like we need to add a lot of stuff. So right now, that's just too much work for what is meant to be essentially just a very deep Easter egg. What is the deal with cursed encounters? It's kind of like getting a double or triple fracture. I just realized that all of this is actually set on the wrong Honko. So Honko's boost was not real this whole time. When you smooch him, it was not actually getting boosted. Now he is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So now when you smooch Honko, he's actually going to get more dangerous. He was not before. That's spooky. You know, let's go. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts. Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts. All right. Now kissing him is a challenge. Let's go. Now we're talking. Smooch Honko. I dare you. I double dog dang dare you. I mean, you have to actually kiss him for it to happen, so it's still entirely of your own volition. You smacked him on the nose. All right. Yep, the blush is not working because of the glitch, yeah. What if it removed his glitching? What if it fixed him? No, that would make him look less scary. What if he had an entirely alternate set of like glitched frames that were all blushing? Even the one where he's like the Family Guy death pose. Like every single one of them are blushing. Even like the horrible like creepypasta one. That'd be pretty fun. But no. Unless. But no. Unless. But no. Unless. To do if I have the time. The stupid Honko kiss idea with glitched frames all blushing. Unless and then I animated them. Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes you just have a vision and you want to see it through, even if it's a bad idea. That's just how it be sometimes. Alright, what's next? Taxidermy's moose head does not receive an HP boost in curse mode as intended. It's because the boost is applied while the head is still hidden. Taxidermy about to get harder. Uh-oh. 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 This is stuck in my brain. Someone's saying, oh. That was from a French translation of a little, like, you know, speak and spell game, something that had, like, quizzes in it. And they translated, uh-oh, in the wrong intonation for the French translation. So when you did something wrong, it said, oh. Oh. That sounds wrong in French, too, by the way. In French, uh-oh is exactly the same as in English. but it's in my brain now. I've heard it once like 12 years ago or so. But now it's always there. Oh. The end of second class day. Fixed the moose head not receiving the cursed mode boosts. In the taxidermy fight, party members that have the puppet status no longer revive and so are unable to attack during the fight. Huh? No longer revive. So wait, the reviving mechanic is just broken? In the taxidermy fight? It just doesn't work anymore? Is that what that means? Okay, so the moment that they're revived, it doesn't work? Or it works, but then as soon as they die... Is that what you mean? I guess I'll just give it a shot. Okay, but this used to work though, right? So I guess that's a change that happened? Huh. I wonder when that started happening. Because I know this worked at one point at least. I know at very least that this used to work. Because I tested it. I guess there must be some change I made at one point that messed this up. They're supposed to, yeah, it's supposed to remove state, gain 50 HP, and then add this state. Huh. Huh. I mean, this looks like it should be working. I can't see what's wrong here. Why is that not working? Yeah, I have no idea why this wouldn't be working. That's super weird. No, I mean this if they're being targeted by the status effects, Like, if they are receiving the state here, the state 56, if they're receiving, like, the marionette state, then that means the target is proper, so that means this isn't the problem. It's like it's literally just the gain HP part that doesn't work. That's what it looks like to me. Like, everything else must be working. Because they could not receive this new state if they were unconscious, because unconscious has, like, the topmost priority, I'm pretty sure. Right? So, remove state 1 must be working. Then there's gain HP, which I don't see why it wouldn't be working if they're no longer dead. Maybe remove state doesn't immediately, like, reset the state, and so it doesn't know that it's alive or something. And then add state must be working, because you see the status effect afterwards. I don't know. That's weird. That is weird. Oh, wait. Is it that the status effect here isn't set up properly, maybe? Maybe this status effect, because it counts as dead, that might be setting their HP to 0 or something? So maybe this does work. Maybe the gain HP does work, but then this status effect essentially kills them and sets their HP to 0. That could be it. I mean, target rate 0, physical damage. No, because that's why I heal before. That's why I heal before setting that state. See, gain HP is before I set the state. That's why I did it in that order. Oh, so maybe they're still dead then. Maybe they have both statuses. Huh. So they have both statuses then. That would explain why healing doesn't work. That means remove state 1 doesn't work to... Is remove state 1 not enough to remove someone who's... to, like, revive someone? Don't I have something else that puppeteers dead characters, that does something to dead characters? Is that still working? What else do I have again that affects dead characters? Is that the only one? Yeah, but that's an ally. That's not the same. Yeah, target remove state 1 should revive. Hunger? Yeah, devour status from hunger should be doing it. And does that one still work? Does hunger still work? Yeah, it's doing the same thing here. That's like the same thing. If this one works... If this one still works fine, that's weird. That would make this way weirder. If this one still works, but the other doesn't. That would be weird as hell. Okay, let's have more characters here so I don't have a game over as soon as someone faints. Okay. I'm going to keep Sam alive here. Let's see what happens. Don't attack Sam. It's like the only one you shouldn't attack. Come on. Okay, that's better. Definitely more what I want to see from you. Okay. Okay. I guess let's see what their states are. I guess I want to see if the rat here is also dead. I guess I want to see if the rat is dead here. So I think that would be game game party members and then so that would be the rat. HP is 2 on the rat. Okay. And then states. ID 249. There's only one state, 249 here. So that's hunger. So it did work on the rat. But the rat didn't get healed. So the rat is supposed to have HP here. And HP is 2. It's displayed as 0. So maybe it being displayed as 0 is a separate thing. That is just something that happens if someone is dead, even if their HP is actually higher than that. Like if I set rat's HP to 50. Now the rat's HP is 50. And he's not going to... I don't know if it's going to read. Yeah, the rat's HP is 50 right now, but it still displays as 0, I think. That might be what's going on too with... that might be what's still going on. That might be what's going on in that other context. Where, yeah, maybe when someone's got a dead, like a death state, that makes the HP always display as 0, even if it's not 0. Because maybe when HP is 0, it has to be unconscious. And so it's kind of like I'm going to set the HP to 0 for the rat. Is that going to do anything? Maybe not. Gain HP. 1. Yeah, so the HP changes for the rat, but since the rat is unconscious, that doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, so that's the problem. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening. I think it's that status effects that are considered to be death display HP as 0 no matter what the HP is. That must be it. Hey, folks, how's it going? Redacted Cat? Oh, it does hunger not count as a boss right now? Oh, the rat champion state doesn't set HP to visibly be 0? I mean, let's see. Let's fight the champ. Let's fight the champ. But that's the thing, is that it seems like... Let's see here. So, Sam will fight. Okay, no. Yeah. Their HP is not showing as 0. Huh. Is it because their HP... Like, they're being given this, but their HP never reached 0? So they were not unconscious? Hmm... That could be it. It is relevant for a French Canadian to play it, that's true. Yep, that creature is my favorite from the entire Souls series. So when Dark Souls 3 was coming out, I decided to animate that bad boy. Well, I'll be shifting to working on another game. I'll be shifting to work on my other game very soon. After I fix this one here. Okay, let's see. Is dead. Dead member state. Let's search for 56. Okay, these are the death states, right? These are the death states. They're just a healing item that also gives you a little bit of resistance to certain status effects temporarily. That's all they do. Okay, there's a possibility here that... Man, yeah, that is a bit of a... This is a bit of a puzzle. Maybe the big difference here is that I'm using change state. Maybe that's the big difference. I'm using the actual command here, change state. There might be something that the change state command does that when I change the states myself isn't happening. Let's see exactly what happens when I run the command for change state. Let's go into objects. Change state. Isn't that change state? Hang on. Yeah, let's check for remove state here. Okay, there's change state. There might be something... yeah, maybe clear result is important here. Yeah, what about clear result? Maybe that's something I'm not doing? What does that do? Result clear, that's it? So yeah, maybe I need to run that. Maybe I need to run clear result after all of these. Let's try it on hunger because it's a bit faster to test. Let's do remove state, target, clear, clear result. After this, yeah, maybe it just needs to happen like between them. Let's try that. I have no idea what this would do, but I mean, otherwise this is just not making sense to me, so let's try that and see if we now see a 1 HP on these guys. Okay, we're seeing some damage. We got a dead. Nope. Nope. It didn't do nothing. Okay. What if, instead of using this, what if I use the variable for it, and then I use the actual actions? That should be doable, right? I'll just set variable, like, reserved 5 or something, and I'll set this to game data, and party member number 1, right? And that's going to be in reserved 5. And then I'm just going to remove the state myself. So on variable reserved 5, I'm going to remove unconscious. Then I'm going to give 1 HP. So change HP. Going to give exactly 1 HP here. Then I'll add a state, which is going to be 2, 4, 9. Wait, what? No, wrong thing. Two, 4, 9. The devoured. There you go. So there you go. And then I'll do perform collapse if it's dead and not, yeah. So I'll only keep this at the end. If is dead and target is... Not sure why this is there, actually. I don't think I need to do that, actually, here. Since I'll be using this, I don't think I'll need that stuff. I'll just comment it out for now. Oh, yeah, Marvin. You're right. You're right. Okay, so let's do this here. Extra ID of party member 2. Then all this. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe this is going to be the way. There must be just something in the way that I'm doing it here with code. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Should probably remove that. I should probably remove that. Now let's remove times puppeted. Also the wire tight sound. Yeah, clearly I just copy pasted that over. Okay, let's see if now we see HP on these lads. When they're revived. Wait, no, don't do that. Nope, still not. That is still not happening. What if I what if I put like a weight between them? What's that gonna do? Are we going to notice, like, them coming alive and then, you know? Like, what's gonna happen there? Huh. Yeah, that's it. When this is applied, they die again. Their HP goes down to 0 again. That's exactly what happens. They heal for a moment, then it goes to 0. So what's different? What's different about that other one? What is different about that other one? Let's try something. So party member 1 is now going to die.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
And then there's going to be a 30-second frame. And then he's going to undie. And then 30-second frame. It's going to get healed by 20. And then 30-second frames is now is going to get received. He's going to receive fighting. Yeah, that seems to be the case, but it doesn't affect this specific status effect for some reason. The not fighting status effect. But the rat here still has HP. I just did that. I just basically made the rat live through the same stuff. Huh. Oh wait, that was the wrong yeah, that was at the wrong spot there. I think. Yeah. Let's do it here. Let's see what happens. Let's try this one. See what happened there? So what happened here is exactly what I expected, except for some reason that status effect doesn't set their HP to look like it's 0. Did I not make that status effect count as death? Did I not make that status effect count as being like a death state? I thought I did too. Maybe it's not. 197. Yeah, 197 is right here. So what's different about this one? Does it have anything special? No, that's the only thing. Yeah. It is a death state. It's absolutely a death state. So what's the difference here? There's Puppet. It does all that. Is it target rate 0% or something? Maybe that's causing it? No, because the other one has that too. This is not fighting. Target rate 0. Priority 100. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Maybe priority 100 is what's fixing it somehow. I'll try that, I guess. I don't know. I'll try that. Priority 100. That could be it. I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, HP 0. Wait, actually, HP 0. That's an actual thing right there. But it's not marked here. So HP 0 is something actually marked in one of these. Am I actually using that anywhere? HP 0? I'm not actually using that anywhere. Maybe in Tunicate scripts? No. So okay, that's false alarm on that. Huh. Okay, let's go back to hunger now that I set that to be 100. Maybe that's gonna do something. Yeah, I'm a little bit stumped by this if it's not obvious. Like, two states are just behaving completely differently, and I can't tell what's different between them. It seems like they should both be reacting to this completely the same, but it is not. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what's causing this. That is weird as hell. That status effect is behaving in a way that I don't understand. This is 249, right? Oh, hang on. Hang on. There it is. There it is. It's actually hard-coded. 56 is the other one. I literally hard-coded it. God damn it. Yep. That's Puppet. I hard-coded that those two status effects give you 0 HP. And 0 HP must be... It needs to be... But hey, hang on. This is just for the sprite gauge. So this is really just visual. This is just for the sprite gauge. It's not actually... This like, I did this right. I did this correctly here. I made it that it's only... It thinks it's 0. Like, the gauge think the number is 0. But it's not actually 0. So it should not be mechanically affecting this. Is there something else? No, that's the only thing. Okay, if I comment this out, does it actually fix it? If I comment this out, does this now make... If I comment this out, there's no way. There's no way that the sprite gauge itself is having a gameplay effect. There's no way that that's how that works. This should just be visual here. Yeah, they're marked as is death state affected, yes. That actually, yeah, that could be it. It could just be the HP might be completely separate from this. And it could just be that is death state affected prevents auto actions, even though it doesn't prevent on its own player actions. Because, for instance, you can have the glitch death state on you, and you can still act. Maybe auto actions are affected. That could be it. Yeah, so I think the HP difference is that was a red herring here. That is just visual. It doesn't affect anything. So I think it's just that is death state affected is preventing auto attacks, and it didn't prevent auto attacks before. So why did it not prevent auto attacks before, but it's preventing auto attacks now? So I need to differentiate now. What's the difference? Because all of these are supposed to prevent attacks, right? All of these are supposed to prevent attacks, except Puppet. Although that should make it that you can't act, but Puppet should be preventing attacks, and the glitch death. Now I did make glitch death a little different. So glitch death does has some weird things about it. That is 298. I think it is not actually listed here. Yeah, it's not actually listed here. Glitch death. So maybe I need to I might need to move Puppeteer alongside glitch death. In is alive with glitch. Maybe that's what I need to do here. So that way, that might be what I need to do here. So the Puppeteer mode is no longer fully considered a death state. It's only considered a death state when it comes to whether or not you lose or you win the fight. Otherwise, it's just a status effect, right? Maybe that's going to be what fixes this. Okay, there were a bunch of red herrings here, but I think we've arrived to something that's an answer. Let's undo all of this weird bullshit I did earlier. Yeah, I can just remove this. This was all fine. This was all fine, it turns out. This was all fine. Just need to remove all of that. And all of that. And then the comments. Yeah, this ended up taking a lot longer than I expected, but you know, sometimes bugs are like that. Right, yeah. Okay. Remove all of that. Okay, and then just general purpose bug squashing. Then champion. Champion had some stuff that I was testing out here. I guess I removed the extras from here. Okay, I removed all of that from here. And from taxidermy. Okay. Okay, let's figure this out now. And there's no restrictions on this. But now this should work, I think. So let's play this normal. And let's have some characters die. I think if I use the test sword, I should be able to zoom through this fight. Let's just make sure all of my friends are easy to kill. Easy pickings. Let's see if this works. So yeah, let's just destroy this guy. Yeah. There we go. Really speeding through his... life is really flashing before his eyes. Single turn. Let's go. Oh, he doesn't just die immediately. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a little too much. Okay, let's guard and attack with everyone else. Just want them to die. There we go, we got one. Let's see if Sophie attacks now. No, Sophie's not attacking. Ah. Huh. That should just be visual. If I check her actual HP, it should be like 5 or something. She is party member 3. HP is 50. So right now she actually has 50 HP, but it's being displayed as 0 just visually. Yeah. States. She has stage 56. And that's it. She only has state 56, so she's not dead. She is not dead. State 56 is the only one she has. So what's the... Oh, did I not save? I think I just didn't save. God damn it. So it didn't save those changes. Ugh. Alright, let's do that again then. Stupid. I do that sometimes. Oh. Bug. What did I do? Shouldn't that be okay? Unexpected token? What do you mean? Oh. Okay, there's the problem. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, maybe I did actually fix it. I just did a little fucky wucky. What's the problem now? This looks normal. Is that state affected? What, am I blind? What am I doing wrong here? Hang on. I can't see the mistake. Yeah, especially when you have like a 6,000 line plugin. I can't see the mistake. All right, I'll just comment out one of these and see when it stops crashing. That's how you do it. Okay, it's this one. Wait, what am I doing wrong in this one? What, am I blind? Oh wait, no, wait, there's this. Okay, what about now? That's what it was earlier though. Oh, what? Oh, hang on. Oh, there you go. This was a little backwards. Yeah, you immediately lost the battle because you needed to have you needed to be puppeteered to not lose the battle for a moment there. That was a little that would have been a big fucky wucky if that had gone live. Only puppets can win. Okay, yes. Come on, do it. Yeah, needle stabs. That's what we're talking about. Stab. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Okay, now come on. Come on. Aha! Yes! That fixed it. Alright. Great. Fixed the puppet problem. Whew. Alright. This was actually not that complicated. I was just stuck on some red herrings for a while. That happens. So, fixed the taxidermies puppet feature. Puppeteering feature or ability. There you go. Okay, alright, we got it. We did it. Alright. Okay. Let's do a quick break, and when I'm back, I'm going to shift to doing some Malison stuff. I have something in mind. I have something specific in mind for what I want to work on in Malison. It's not going to be like the planning and the animation stuff as before. It's actually going to be working on a specific encounter. Polishing a fight in the early game, very early game. In Chapter 1, there is this optional sort of boss that you can fight like in very, very early on in the game. And, he's got I have some sprites to finish for it, and I have some designs to finish. I need to actually fully design the fight. I have a list of battles I want to go into and design more carefully, and this is one of them. It's actually the first one in the list. So this is going to be tweaking Migraine Manfred. Migraine Manfred. One of the first optional bosses in the game. But yeah, that's going to be fun. So yeah, I'll be back in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's put some music on.